Hello everyone, it is Jess here. Today I'm going to be doing my January book excerpt reading. You guys voted and a lot of you wanted me to read From Charlotte's Web by E.B. White, which is an excellent, sweet story about a little pig named Wilbur and how he befriends a spider named Charlotte. In this scene, Wilbur is basically meeting Charlotte for the very first time. He's kind of heard her voice because previous to this, he heard a voice say that she was going to be his friend, but he doesn't know what she looks like or who she is, and so he's trying to find out who she is, and it's a really fun scene. So let's jump into reading it. Just as Wilbur was settling down for his morning nap, he heard again the thin voice that had addressed him the night before. "Salutations," said the voice. Wilbur jumped to his feet. "What?" he cried. "Salutations," repeated the voice. "What are they? And where are you? Oh, please tell me where you are. And what are salutations?" "Salutations are greetings. When I say salutations, it's just my fancy way of saying hello or good morning." Actually, it's a silly expression. I don't know why I used it at all. As for my whereabouts, that's easy. Look up here in the corner of the doorway. Here I am. Look, I'm waving. At last, Wilbur saw the creature that had spoken to him in such a kindly way. Stretched across the upper part of the doorway was a big spider web, and hanging from the top of the web, head down, was a large spider. She was about the size of a gumdrop. She had 8 legs, and she was waving one of them at Wilbur in a friendly greeting. "See me now?" "Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. How are you? Good morning. Salutations. Very pleased to meet you. What is your name, please? May I have your name?" "My name is Charlotte." "Charlotte what?" "Charlotte A. Kavitica. But just call me Charlotte." "I think you're beautiful." "Well, I am pretty. There's no denying that. Almost all spiders are rather nice looking. I'm not as flashy as some, but I'll do." "I wish I could see you, Wilbur, as well as you can see me." "Why can't you? I'm right here." "Yes, but I'm nearsighted. I've always been dreadfully nearsighted. It's good in some ways and not so good in others. Ooh, watch me wrap up this fly." A fly had been crawling along Wilbur's trough and had flown up and blundered into the lower part of Charlotte's web and was tangled in the sticky threads. The fly was beating its wings furiously, trying to break loose and free itself. "First, I dive at him." She plunged head first toward the fly as she dropped a tiny silken thread unwound from her rear end. "Next, I'll wrap him up." She grabbed the fly, threw a few jets of silk around it, and rolled it over and over, wrapping it so that it couldn't move. Wilbur watched in horror. He could hardly believe what he was seeing, and although he detested flies, he was sorry for this one. "There! Now I knock him out so he'll be more comfortable." She bit the fly. "He can't feel a thing now. He'll make a perfect breakfast for me." "You mean you eat flies?" "Certainly. Flies, bugs, grasshoppers, choice beetles, moths, butterflies, tasty cockroaches, gnats, midges, daddy long-legs, centipedes, mosquitoes, crickets, anything that's careless enough to get caught in my web. I have to live, don't I?" "Why, yes, of course. Do they taste good?" "Delicious. Of course, I don't really eat them. I drink them. Drink their blood." "I love blood," said Charlotte, and her pleasant, thin voice grew even thinner and more pleasant. "Don't say that. Please don't say things like that." "Why not? It's true, and I have to say what is true." I'm not entirely happy with my diet of flies and bugs, but it's the way I'm made. A spider has to pick up a living somehow or other, and I happen to be a trapper. I just naturally build a web and trap flies and other insects. My mother was a trapper before me, and her mother was a trapper before her. All our family have been trappers. Way back for thousands and thousands of years, we have been laying for flies and bugs. It's a miserable inheritance, said Wilbur gloomily. He was sad because his new friend was so bloodthirsty. Yes, it is, but I can't help it. I don't know how the first spider in the early days of the world happened to think up this fancy idea of spinning a web, but she did, and it was clever of her too. And since then, all of us spiders have had to work the same trick. It's not a bad pitch on the whole. It's cruel, replied Wilbur, who did not intend to be argued out of his position. Well, you can't talk. You have your meals brought to you in a pail. Nobody feeds me. I have to get a living for myself. I live by my wits. I have to be sharp and clever lest I go hungry. I have to think things out, catch what I can, take what comes. And it so happens, my friend, that what comes are flies and insects and bugs. And furthermore, said Charlotte, shaking one of her legs, do you realize that if I didn't catch bugs and eat them, bugs would increase and multiply and become so numerous that they'd destroy the earth, wipe out everything? Really? I wouldn't want that to happen. Perhaps your web is a good thing after all. That was my excerpt reading of Charlotte's Web. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. It's a really fun book, so you should definitely check it out. I have linked the book below in the description if you want to give it a go. And I think that is all I have for you guys today, so I hope you have a shiny, happy day, and I will see you later. Bye! Wilbert jumped to his feet. Wilbert. At last, Wilbert saw... It's hard to say excitedly, Wilbert. Flies and insects. Marched across the oper... Am I even speaking English at this point? Oh, shoot. Very pleased. Why can't I remember that?
It's really sad, but I can't remember that.
Daddy Longlegs. What else? I don't know. Midget. I don't even know what a midget is. Do you know what a midget is? I have to, what do I have to do? Catch. I don't know what I'm catching. What I can.
Yeah, don't get too witchy sounding.
Yeah, I'm turning into like, oh, witch. I snorted my own self, and that's not good when you're not being a pig.